An explosive report of alleged fraud in America's schools. A new investigation says hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars meant for students wound up paying for luxury homes, designer goods, and even home renovations, totaling some $225 million over the last 6 years. Education Secretary Linda McMahon says she is digging deeper into these allegations.
And now we're looking more at the K through 12. And I can assure you that we will be following through with our departments to see where this money has been going. If fraudsters are just seemingly trying to pick the pocket of American taxpayers everywhere we turn.
Well, this report should alarm every family, teacher, and civic leader. Investigators say it may only be scratching the surface. Vice President J.D. Vance this week highlighting the administration's fraud crackdown while accusing Democrats of complacency.
We don't have two parties that disagree about tax policy or regulatory policy. We've got a party that is fighting for fraud and a party that is fighting against fraud. And I don't know about you, but how about we give more authority, more power, and more influence to the party that is trying to save your money and send the fraudsters to prison?
Joining me now from the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee, Texas Congressman Pat Fallon. Congressman, it's great to have you this weekend. Thanks so much for being here.
Maria, thanks for having me, and hope you had a great 250th.
Absolutely. Happy birthday to this great nation, and thank you for your service to this great nation, as I always say to you. Want to get your take on this fraud. How did this happen? How deep does this go?
I think it goes very deep, Maria, and it's really telling and frightening, considering that this was only a fraction of the school districts that the federal government funds. They're really 3 out of 20, and they still found $225 million in fraud, $44 million in Indiana for inflated enrollment. I mean, $24 million for the billing in Puerto Rico for services that weren't rendered. And as you mentioned, $16.7 million in California that didn't go to, educating children, but went to a home, cars, luxury goods. So this is scratching the surface, and it's something that if the Oversight Committee remains in Republican hands come November, we're going to dig into much deeper.
Yeah, I mean, what are the odds of that? How do you feel now about the midterm elections and the Republicans holding on to the majority? Because if you don't, all of these committees are going to be chaired by Democrats.
Yeah, and to J.D. Vance's point, Maria, they won't investigate this fraud. And this is, again, when you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars that are probably into the billions, you need to dig further because the American taxpayers' pockets are being picked. I do feel better about it considering some of the folks that the Democrats just nominated in New York, when you have one of them that doesn't want borders, police, prisons. How about taking a reality check? And in Colorado, the gal that said that Israel had October 7th coming and they deserved it. These are the people that they're nominating, and these are not serious people.
Well, it's incredible because just when you thought the far left could not get any more radical, sources telling Fox that the Democrat Socialists of America are now preparing to unveil their new platform in the week ahead. Next week, we're going to learn that apparently it includes eliminating the U.S. Senate, replacing the presidency and the Supreme Court with bodies that would be subordinate to Congress, granting amnesty to all immigrants, and defunding the Department of War. I mean, what could possibly go wrong with this list, Congressman?
Again, not serious. They're living in we're the United States of America, not the United States of utopia. And it's very telling that the Democrats, the only federal programs or agencies that they'll ever cut are for defense. Everything else, according to them, needs to grow. And I think that's absurd. And again, we just need to give the American people a reality check and understand that and really lay out to them that we are the adults in the room, not the other party.
Well, is there anything you can do to get ahead of this? I mean, they want to eliminate the Senate. They want to replace the presidency with a body. I mean, what can you do as an elected official to stop such an agenda?
You get a big, giant spotlight, Maria, and you shine it on their agenda, when they reveal that, you make sure that the American people understand this is what they're talking about. This is what they want to do. And not only all that, if they ever took power and could, they would pack the Supreme Court, and we would end up with hundreds of justices because it would be a back and forth yin and yang type of thing. So this is a radical agenda. This is two different paths to two very different goals. We want low taxes, limited government, reasonable regulation, and free markets, and that's a formula for prosperity moving forward.
Well, I mean, look, how ironic that they want to upend all of the things that brought us this incredible success over the last 250 years as we celebrate 250 years for America, and they want to do away with capitalism and replace it with socialism. But I want to get your take on this. The president is slamming the Supreme Court's recent decision on birthright citizenship, posting on Truth Social this: signs and billboards are being put up all over the southern border and Mexico, advertising birthright citizenship, with delivery starting at $4,000. I will be asking for a rehearing by the U.S. Supreme Court immediately, writes the president. Your reaction?
I could not agree with President Trump more. The Supreme Court, the majority anyhow, got this dead wrong. The 14th Amendment, this was written to make sure that people that have been treated as property were then properly going to be recognized as citizens. Full stop, end of story. It did not include anybody that was here illegally, then had children. The vast majority of countries in the world do not recognize birthright citizenship, and the United States should be among them.
Yeah, and what about all these signs? Who's putting up these signs along southern Texas?
Well, apparently I was in the Texas legislature for 8 years. For my sources, Governor Abbott and the legislature are going to look into that, because it could very well be some of the hospitals along the border that were at least involved in this, and they're going to be defunded and might be charged criminally if that's the case.
Wow. So do you think it's forces outside of the country trying to pressure people within America to accelerate this birthright citizenship?
I think what it was maybe, you follow the money. Why are you 50? I think it was actually in FY23, it was 53% of all births in Texas were paid for by Medicaid. I mean, that's an alarming statistic in and of itself. Wow. And we've got to, again, protect the taxpayer. I mean, Maria, at the end of the day, my two favorite countries are America and Texas, and we have to protect both.
Yeah, that's good. Congressman, let me get your take on what gets done before the August recess. You only have, 8 legislative days left at this point before the August recess. What's the priority? Is it the NDAA, the defense spending? Is the Save America Act dead? What's the story?
Well, the NDA certainly is a priority because we are at war. It's $1.15 trillion, and the largest single piece of legislation in the history of humanity. So yes, we need to get that done. We've got 2 of the 12 appropriations bills passed. We need to get the other 10 done. As you just mentioned, you got 8 legislative days left, so you got to get on your horse, if you will. And I don't think the SAVE Act is dead, because we are talking about, and I'm very close with the Speaker, Mike Johnson, Reconciliation 3.0. And I like the strategy of attaching the SAVE Act. We won't need any Democratic votes in the House. We can get it out, get it to the Senate. And when the Senate parliamentarian almost inevitably tries to strip it, what they can do without using the filibuster, the senators can overrule that specific ruling of the parliamentarian, and keep the SAVE Act in Reconciliation 3.0, and we can pass it without 60 votes.
Wow. Well, that would be ideal if, in fact, the Senate would cooperate. But once you get all of this through the House, we don't know what happens once it gets to the Senate, because they haven't been able to get the president's agenda over the finish line, unlike the House, which has passed the SAVE Act 3 times. Congressman, we're going to be watching your work. We so appreciate your time this weekend. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria. God bless. Take care.
All right. We'll see you soon. Congressman Pat Fallon. Meanwhile, a wild week on Wall Street.